Hello and welcome to Isaan Flicks. Today, as it rained again this morning and there has been flooding once again in Pattaya, I thought I would share what I know about the monsoon season, the rainy season in Isaan and generally in Thailand, and discuss some of the myths and facts pertaining to thunder and lightning storms. We shall start with Isaan, the northeast of Thailand, where the monsoon rainfall may not be as heavy as elsewhere in Thailand. The monsoon, the rainy season, stretches from May to October, with roughly 80% of the rain coming in August and September, normally, but not always. May 13th this year was the official end of the summer season and the start of the rainy season. For most of Thailand, the most rainfall is accumulated in September and October, making them the wettest months. However, the east coast of southern Thailand gets the heaviest rainfall in November. As I said, the rainy season in Thailand typically takes place from July to October. Sometimes the months of May and June will also see some extra rains as they lead into the official monsoon season. During the rainy season, the high temperatures will be around 32 degrees C and the daily low around 25 degrees C. So, does it rain every day during the monsoon season, you may ask? Well, not typically, but there are no promises. Mother Nature's moods change from year to year, which is to the frustration of the rice farmers. Even the start of the monsoon season isn't as predictable as it once was. However, like the winter season in Thailand, the name rainy season is slightly misleading. While it certainly does rain during this season, it's more likely to consist of flash flood afternoon downpours than a continual drizzle for days. If you compare the heat and humidity, the weather in Thailand is typically sunny throughout the rainy season, but when the rain comes, it can be very fast and furious. Of course, this does vary over the country, and the eastern and southwestern parts of Thailand is to expect more heavy rain, whereas the south may have more gusty winds. But like all forecasts, you get what you get and not always as per the forecast. Mother Nature is like that and has a mind of her own. It is often said August is typically the wettest month all round Thailand, but again, there are no guarantees. But it's always best to be prepared, so have your umbrella ready. And of course, during the rainy season, you have to expect a lot of thunder and lightning storms, and at times the lightning can be dangerous, so one has to be careful. There are a lot of myths about thunder and lightning storms, but my advice, for what it's worth, is when thunder roars, go indoors. However, much of what we think we know about lightning is fiction. At any given time on our planet Earth, there are about 1800 thunderstorms, and with them comes lightning. During a thunderstorm, it's best to take shelter in a house, other structure or a hard-topped, fully enclosed vehicle. But As one of these options may not be available to you, your safety and well-being may depend on knowing the difference between these lightning myths and the facts. So, myth number 1. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. Fact. Lightning often strikes the same place repeatedly, especially if it's a tall, pointed, isolated object. The Empire State Building, for example, is hit nearly 24 times a year and has been known to have been hit up to 12 times during a single storm. Myth number 2. Lightning only strikes the tallest objects. Whereas the fact is, lightning is indiscriminate and it can find you anywhere. Lightning may hit the ground instead of a tree, cars instead of a nearby telephone or electric pole, and parking lots instead of buildings. Myth number 3. If you're stuck in a thunderstorm, being under a tree is better than no shelter at all. The fact is, sheltering under a tree is just about the worst thing you can do. If lightning does hit the tree, there's a chance that a ground charge will spread out from the tree in all directions. Therefore, being underneath a tree is the second leading cause of lightning casualties. Myth number 4. If you don't see rain or clouds, you're safe. Well, the fact is, lightning often strikes more than 3 miles from the thunderstorm, far outside the rain or even the thunderstorm clouds. Though infrequent bolts from the blue have been known to strike areas as distant as 10 miles from their thunderstorm origins, where the skies appear clear. Myth number 5. A car's rubber tyres will protect you from lightning. Well, the fact, it's true, being in a car will likely protect you, but most vehicles are actually safe because the metal roof and sides divert lightning around you. The rubber tyres have little to do with keeping you safe. Whereas convertibles, motorcycles, bicycles, open-shelled outdoor recreational vehicles and cars with plastic or fiberglass shells offer no lightning protection at all. Myth number 6. If you're outside in a storm, lie flat on the ground. Whereas the fact is, lying flat on the ground makes you more vulnerable to electrocution, not less. Lightning generates potentially deadly electrical currents along the ground in all directions. By lying down, you're providing more potential points on your body to hit. Myth 7. If you touch a lightning victim, you'll be electrocuted. The fact is, the human body doesn't store electricity. It is perfectly safe to touch a lightning victim to give them first aid. Myth number 8. Wearing metal on your body attracts lightning. The fact is, the presence of metal makes very little difference in determining whether lightning will strike. Height pointy shape and isolation are the dominant factors in whether lightning will strike an object, including you. However, touching or being near metal objects such as a fence can be unsafe when thunderstorms are nearby. If lightning does happen to hit one area of the fence, even a long distance away, the metal can conduct the electricity and electrocute you. Myth number 9. A house will always keep you safe from lightning. The fact is, while a house is the safest place you can be during a storm, just going inside isn't enough. You must avoid any conducting path leading outside, such as an electrical appliance, wires, TV cables, plumbing, metal doors or metal window frames. So therefore, don't stand near a window to watch the lightning. My final myth number 10. Surge suppressors can protect a home against lightning. The fact is, surge arresters and suppressors are important components of a complete lightning protection system, but can do nothing to protect a structure against a direct lightning strike. I have to tell you, my wife always wants me to unplug the TV and any other unnecessary electrical appliances, not to use a computer or mobile phone until thunder and lightning storms have passed. I know you may think this not necessary, but it's easier for me to do so, and this is the reason why. 3 times when living in Pattaya, the houses we lived in at the time were struck by lightning, and we had TV, video recorders, stereo cassette decks, refrigerators, lighting fixtures and ceiling fans smoked due to electrical power surges caused by lightning strikes. This was back in the day before cable or satellite TV and the internet, when all we had was terrestrial TV, which required having an antenna erected high above the roof, usually on a metal pole, held in place by metal tie wires to receive a radio wave signal, which of course made them ideal for lightning strikes. So it is my opinion to learn how to protect yourself in a thunderstorm. There are many myths, as I said, surrounding lightning, such as lightning never strikes the same place twice, or it always strikes the tallest object. Both we now know these to be false, as lightning strikes the best conductor on the ground, whether it has been struck before or not. Therefore, I suggest it is best to make sure you know what to do in a thunderstorm. Thunderstorms can occur at any time of the day during the rainy season and are most likely to produce gusty winds and torrential downpours that can at times disrupt service networks like electricity supplies and the internet, and of course cause damage to property. One of the most notable aspects of thunderstorms can be the localized nature of the impacts they could bring. This in particular can be the case with rainfall amounts, with big differences in amounts that fall from one place to another and over a very short distance. This can make driving conditions very hazardous, with decreased visibility, sudden gusty winds, and standing water, and of course, lightning. Furthermore, do remember during a thunderstorm, if you're outside, avoid water and find a low-lying open place that is a safe distance from trees, poles or metal objects. Avoid activities such as golf or rod fishing or boating on a lake. Be aware of metal objects that can conduct or attract lightning, including golf clubs, golf buggies, fishing rods, umbrellas, motorbikes, bicycles, wheelchairs, pushchairs, wire fencing and rails. And if you are in a tent, try to stay away from the metal poles. However, if you do find yourself in an exposed location, it may be advisable to squat close to the ground with hands on knees with head tucked between them. Try to touch as little of the ground with your body as possible. Do not lie down on the ground. However, if you do feel your hair stand on end, drop to the above position immediately. Then, after any thunderstorm and you're out and about, avoid any downed power lines or broken cables, as they may well still be live. Here are some examples of what does and can happen during the thunder and lightning storms here in Isaan. Just recently, a Thai woman out working in a cassava plantation with a husband and their 2 young children took shelter under a tree, which was then struck by lightning, which killed the woman. Her children and husband were unharmed. Then there was a farmer ploughing his rice field when he was struck by lightning and killed. So, whether you believe the myths or not, the facts remain the same. Thunderstorms are dangerous, as lightning, especially in the countryside, in wide open spaces. However, people struck by lightning happens as rarely as anywhere else in the world, if precautions are followed. Therefore, if your Thai mother-in-law or wife tells you to turn off your mobile phone during a thunderstorm, it's probably easier to do so, as they are remembering the older days of telephone landlines being struck by lightning. But we do hear rather a lot of people being electrocuted while using a mobile phone while on charge, and perhaps during a thunderstorm. I do remember several incidences of people getting electrocuted in the old style phone boxes in storms, which may have been due to a lightning strike or the phone box having a faulty electrical installation made worse by the rain and wet ground. There were several other instances of people being electrocuted by coming into contact with street lighting or electric signs when wading through floodwaters. I also remember on several occasions sitting in bars in Pattaya in a thunderstorm and seeing lightning strike pole mounted transformers, which luckily doesn't seem to happen quite so often as installation practices have improved over the years. Nonetheless, they do happen, usually with a big bang and some fire. Many of you will be thinking all what I have said was just plain common sense. That is, if you have managed to get this far into my video, and I would agree. However, I will say today, common sense is not a gift. It's a punishment, as you have to deal with those who don't have it. Everybody gets so much information all day long that they lose their common sense. So perhaps today there is nothing more uncommon than common sense. It is also said common sense and a sense of humour are the same thing, just moving at different speeds. So I shall now apologise if I offended anyone with my common sense, but strongly recommend everyone should make their own practical decisions and informed judgments based on the facts, which will then keep you safe in most situations. So, until my next video, stay safe, keep out of the rain, watch out for the lightning, and it's a very goodbye from me.